Hey, Brian.
What up?
You like serial killers and David Fincher?
I do.
Then Mindhunter is a show for you. Robert?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Oh, shit. Mindhunter Season 2. Did you see it?
Oh, yes.
Good.
I see it.
I'm glad you're here. Brian, did you see Mindhunter Season 2?
I did finish it. Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
But you didn't see Season 1.
I saw it.
Oh, thank
I
God.
talked about it a while ago.
Oh,
I said,
shit.
do you remember my analogy for season 1?
No, what did you
What's the
tweet?
analogy?
Oh, I said it on the show.
I'm just kidding.
I said season 1 was a cheeseburger.
Oh, how dare you.
What does that mean?
Oh, fuck it. Oh, hold on. What kind of cheeseburger? Like, did you say it was like a McDonald's cheeseburger, like a Marvel cheeseburger?
I just said like the show, the first season was like, it was good, but it wasn't great. It's like having a cheeseburger.
Okay.
It's not like a fancy steak. It's just like, oh, I just had like a cheeseburger. Like
Okay.
I was satiated, but I wasn't like fucking wowed by it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Your mouth
For
was
the first
you
season, yeah.
were salivating at it. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, all right.
Right.
Like
Season 2, did you have a full course meal?
Season 2, what would be my analogy for season 2? It would be like, I was so excited for a steak and like it's coming and I was eating it and then there's like a hair in the steak.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah. I loved it until I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to get your guys' opinion before.
I did love it.
Yeah, the whole way through.
The whole way through.
okay.
I loved it 9 out of 10. No, if I were to have one nitpick about it, and by the way, for Mindhunter season 1 and 2, there's going to be spoilers all throughout this. So if you haven't seen it, leave right now.
Got to.
Leave. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Fuck out of here.
No, hey.
Hey,
Let's go. Yeah, get out of here. Please
For real.
kindly fuck off. No. My only nitpick about season 2 was the kind of subplot of Ford's panic attacks that goes nowhere.
a lot of things go nowhere.
Okay, maybe I'll go down to 8 out of 10. I don't know. What
yeah.
are you thinking about? But that was the one thing that I specifically noticed. Like he had an issue with it in like the first 2 episodes, and then it just never.
It was so set up so well.
Yeah.
Well, from the first season, he has a panic attack at the end of the
very end.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And that sets up the
sex up.
Yeah. And then they set it up, and then they talk to Tench, and they're like, Tench, are you going to look after him? What's going on?
Yeah.
And Holden has like a whole conversation with the woman. Anna Torv.
Anna Torv's character?
I don't know her
Yeah.
name.
I'll look it up right
It's
now.
like
But-
Carrie or something? Or?
Is it Carrie?
Wendy,
Wendy.
yeah.
yeah.
But he
Wendy.
has a whole conversation with her, like in the bar, like revealing stuff, like this is what happened, blah blah blah. Like, are you okay? Like, that's what I liked. Like, they were going to talk about anxiety attacks because I've had like small panic attacks where I'm like, oh shit, I can't breathe, blah blah blah.
right.
Like, okay, they're going to go into that, and then they forget about it.
Yeah. That was one thing I was like, oh man, I wish
Yeah.
something would have triggered that again.
But there were some parts where you can see, like, okay, like he might have another episode.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
now,
what
but
else?
it just goes away.
What I'll say about Holden Ford,
Yeah.
what I'll say about his character overall, I really loved how they treated him because he gets to a point where he's fucking angry because they not only deal with Sam Hassan, they obviously keep doing the BTK.
Yeah.
They're doing the little vignettes of that.
Yeah.
But they deal with the Atlanta murders. For that basically takes over the show about halfway through.
That's what I wasn't a huge fan of.
Oh,
'Cause
do you think it dragged out too much?
I think it did, and it also like it took over the show. The show's about like profiling serial killers
Right.
and like doing all that. But I can see like they're applying that to a real life event.
Right.
But I felt like it went on like way too long.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of agree to that too because there was a certain point in the last like 3 or 4 episodes
Yeah.
where I was like, oh, where's Wendy and Agent Smith? Like
all forgotten.
they're kind of put off on the sidelines
Yeah.
so much. But I also think because the case in Atlanta was so intriguing, like I almost wanted like, fuck, when are they gonna fucking catch this guy?
It was very anxiety inducing. We're
Yeah.
like, come on.
But like that was also the reason why I love this show in general is like when they first coined the term serial killer at the end of the first season, it's like I love little things like that. I love that they're slowly like I feel like they're doing this to the actual science of who these human beings are, and I like that strategy towards it. Maybe it suffers from the actual narrative because they're stretching things out or they're staying on something for too long. Robert, overall, like, what did you think about this show? Tell us your thoughts. 9 out of 10, 5 out of 10. What did you think?
Mindhunter, season 2.
Two thumbs
Season
up,
2.
straight up.
Yeah, I don't know about.
You did the
actual
set visit.
ratings.
No.
I didn't do a set visit. That's funny.
Sony brought you on.
Yeah.
Is it Sony?
Netflix.
No.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah. I don't know. But I really dug it. I
Yeah.
dug the first season a lot. I dig this season a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it because it does incorporate a lot of like real history into it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of real like. I'm one of those guys like I'll Google shit like after every episode like how much of this was accurate. How
Oh
much
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
type shit. And I dig how every character kind of dealt with their own conflict like outside of just interviewing serial killers.
That's what you get to know, like their outside life,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed
yeah.
to just their work life.
Like the whole thing with Tinch and like his son like killing
Yeah.
the toddler.
I love.
thing.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
That
That was
whole
great.
subplot was
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I thought it was great, and I wondered if it was real or not.
No, it's not real.
It's not real.
That's completely
Well, the show is
fictional.
based off of a book. I know that, but I don't know
but
how much of
Holden
it.
and Tench are real people.
The real, they're
Not
I don't
real
know,
names,
That
but-
real names are
yeah.
based off of real people.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was talking to my buddy who was like really into this,
Larry.
and I was like, "What's real? What's not?" And then I guess like with the Atlanta murders, it was dragged on that long. That's
Yeah.
what really happened, and also that guy's like was never caught.
Yeah,
Or he
well,
was.
He, like at the end of the show, he got caught for two adults.
Two of the murders.
Yeah,
Like he
but-
wasn't actually tried for all of the
Yeah,
murders.
they couldn't connect him. So I was like,
Right.
okay, like I can't be upset with the reality of the situation.
Right.
Right. It's like Zodiac. Like
Yeah.
Zodiac
He was
is
never
less about
actually
the,
caught.
Yeah, it's less about the solving of the mystery, but it's about the mystery itself. you
Right.
know,
Right.
The toll that takes on people. So,
But I did like how they developed the characters more. Holden, we didn't get a lot of like his background. Like in the first season, he had the girlfriend who
She was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish she came back, or I wish maybe I thought he was gonna have a relationship with the girl that worked at the hotel.
the black one.
Yeah. I don't remember her name is, but
yeah,
I
there was like a little chemistry.
Yeah,
there.
I thought they were gonna
Yeah.
have something there because she was the one that basically opened his eyes about this whole Atlantic murder situation.
Did you think like she was trying to fuck him, like when she was like in his
I don't know
room?
about fucking him, but maybe going on a date
Yeah,
first.
that's what I
Brian.
thought.
Maybe sometimes you just
Well,
you
it's
gotta lay
still
the, you
'cause-
gotta lay
'cause
the
he would-
groundwork first.
Like she would come back to his room and just like knock on his door, and he's like changing, and he's like, what
Well,
do you
maybe that's what their intentions were to make you believe that. But
Yeah.
but then her hair is fluffed out. She's letting loose a little bit, but no, she takes them right to.
But then,
the
once she
moms.
started acting a little sketchy, she's like, "Hey, we're just going there. Just get in my car. Let's go."
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, something's up."
I do miss I missed because like it was like first half of the show similar to season 1 where they're interviewing all the serial killers. and
I like
stuff.
that.
That's like season 1's almost perfect on that end
Yeah.
because like that was like their shtick. It's like a new serial killer every day, learning something new, and I love that shit because it's them developing these theories. They're using this science to figure things out. It's basically because my problem with like science in general is like psychology has always been like in the
Questioned.
background.
Or like
Yeah,
laughed at.
Because like when I graduated from college, like psychology isn't a science; it's a liberal arts, and that pisses me off because it is an actual science.
They call it a soft science. Right?
Yes,
Like,
a
yeah.
soft science. I don't like
or
that.
pseudoscience.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah.
And this show puts that at the forefront and makes you realize like this is incredibly important. This is showing you the upbringing of the FBI's science
Behavioral
section,
science.
behavioral science to fully develop, and they show that, and why I love season 2 so much. All of their practices from season 1 and half of season 2 goes into effect of season 2
Applying it.
applying that said science into actually trying to find the Atlantic murderer.
And it is so frustrating when people don't believe in it.
Right.
When like the politics behind it, Holden is
Right.
saying we're looking for a black male, 20s to 30s, and then the guy who's running for mayor or whatever is saying like I can't say like without evidence I can't
Right.
say we're looking for a black male.
Right.
20s to 30s.
And I love that. I mean, it's fucking what happened.
Yeah.
It's actual real things.
And it's tough because it's like it's tough because like even though we are familiar with the techniques that they're doing, like there isn't actual evidence. So it's like
that's-
actually trying to pin it is
Yeah.
like what makes it really
You're
tough.
like,
you know?
yeah, like when they do find him crossing the bridge at like 3 a.m. or whatever, they're like, all right, what connects you
Right,
to the
right.
body?
Right.
The fibers, the hair, the dog hair, whatever. Holden knows because he's like this autistic savant.
Yeah.
Who's like, Yeah, he's got a dog. I don't remember like why he said he had a dog, but I guess that's the profile.
I think it was
some of the bodies had dog hair
yeah.
on them.
I think
Oh,
so.
okay.
I
So
think
he's like,
it
okay,
was.
this guy would have a dog. He
He's
lives at
doing his
home.
criminal profiling based off of like the evidence that they found from the
Right.
bodies.
Yeah, and he was like 100% right, which is, I guess that's what they want you to feel like.
Yeah.
They want you to be frustrated, like knowing this guy's correct.
Right.
But everyone's like, no, let's go after the Klan.
Yeah, is that
Let's
like
go
a
after
character
this
flaw?
guy.
Is he arrogant or is he fucking
Yeah.
right?
I thought he was going to be wrong because I don't know about Wayne Williams. I didn't know about like the murder.
I knew
Yeah,
a
I
little
don't
bit
know-
of
I
it.
don't know
I'd seen something where because there's like two of the serial killers represented in the show that were like identical looking, like identical. Like it's ridiculous. The people they cast in the show look exactly like the person portrayed in real
Wayne
life.
Williams?
I think it was Wayne Williams, and I think it was the Son of Sam's. Like those guys, like the actors that played those guys was like.
Which one's Son of Sam?
He was the guy that was saying like a 900-year-old demon told me to do all this stuff,
Oh,
and then he
he
was
was
like,
bullshitting,
he was like,
yeah.
nah, that's all bullshit. Even
yeah.
the fucking psychiatrist believed me. I'm like, fuck, this is great.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
what I
amazing.
like. Yeah, because like you like Holden knows. Like
Yeah.
that's what I like, the breaking down of like interviewing people and trying to get into them because like it's fucking.
But I was a little like I got disappointed every time Holden just kind of gave up on the interviews. Like 'cause
Yeah.
there was a lot of times he was like, whatever. Like
Well, but you understand why though, because like when that guy was trying to use big words and he didn't understand that he's using them wrong.
Yeah.
So you just realize this guy's a fucking dumbass. You can understand. Holden wants like the
smart serial killer.
smart, suave serial killers who are like brilliant but just fucked up in the head.
Right.
So like he doesn't want to waste his time with like these dumbasses.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's all part of the practice too, because it's all. I feel like this show was still building towards something, because all throughout season 1 and season 2, yeah, the BTK killer is the kind of. It seems like it's like the main one that it's eventually building. Because I thought in the first season, I realized, all right, where are these vignettes going to? Like where are they going to lead to?
I don't remember. So
Yeah, I don't even remember the vignettes in the first one.
Yeah, I don't remember that. So he was in. It was like that in the first season.
Yeah, no, I don't think as much, but it was like almost every single episode started off with like him doing something, dropping off a letter to something, or like there was the one
Is that-
episode where like the wife caught him like doing the
Jerking off.
asphyxiation on himself.
That was season 2.
That was season 2, but there was a couple moments like that in the season 1 as well.
Okay. Because I thought it was going to connect and come full circle.
And
at
they
the
mentioned
end.
BTK several times, but like he's just nowhere in their zeitgeist right now.
But I think I looked it up online, and he wasn't caught until like 2000 something.
2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this is taking place in the 70s.
Yeah.
So like, or 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. So
It
like,
was in the 80s.
so like they're gonna show those vignettes for a while.
I think so too.
Until until like
I'm
eventually he gets
just
caught.
like, yeah, I don't know if like how far in advance is the show gonna go? What are the serial killers? Are they Ted Bundy? Are they gonna do Ted Bundy? Are they gonna
what's-
do Jeffrey Dahmer?
I like the Manson
Richard
part.
Ramirez.
Yeah, the
the
Manson
Manson
was good.
scene was fucking amazing, but I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought
was
too.
like,
That's exactly what I
fuck.
thought too. That's what I
Damn
thought
it.
too.
Because I
That's
know like
another-
I
That could have been a whole episode. Like,
yeah, that's what this show is. Like it's like sets you up and like gives you a little taste of a
Yeah.
good steak, and it's just like, nah, never mind.
I don't know.
But maybe
like,
that's all you.
Yeah,
'cause
I mean, like-
want want more.
that's true, because like the whole Ed Kemper stuff in the first season was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Same thing too. Like
he
that
showed up
actor
again.
looks exactly like the
Yeah.
fucking guy, and that guy was also in Umbrella Academy. He was one of the two assassin guys.
Cameron something. Cameron. I think his
The
name?
actor's name?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I think it's
can
like
look it up.
Cameron.
Cameron
Bro or
Diaz.
something. But
Cameron Bro.
no, it's like BROW.
Cameron Britton.
Oh, Britain. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm thinking. All right.
He's fantastic, and
Yeah.
he shows up, I think,
In
like
the Manson
once.
episode. In the
Yeah,
Manson-
yeah.
Right before, because like to get
They
to
were
Manson,
waiting to Manson. Yeah.
but they're like Manson's gonna answer us if he knows we're interviewing somebody else,
Right,
just for
right.
the ego.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That was also cool seeing, because like we've talked about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's like very briefly in that movie, but also a very different time of what Manson was. And
That was the 60s.
That was the 60s. That guy, the guy who played him, I forget his name. He came in Collider Studios and he was actually talking about it, and he said how cool it was because he was only in like one scene for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like essentially one scene for Mindhunter, but two completely different Mansons that he was portraying. He said he like listened to his music and got like into his
Skelter
like
and shit.
all of that shit, and it like seeing this Manson was great. But I also thought like that version of Manson was. It sort of had like a weird influence on Holden for because when he gave him his sunglasses, like, oh fuck, is he like manipulating him right now?
It was for a reason, like it led to something.
Yeah, and even they even mentioned later on, like he bragged to everybody that he made him give the sunglasses back to him or something like that.
No, but he said he stole them.
He stole them. Excuse me.
So he's willing to go to the shoe, solitary confinement,
just for his own reputation.
Yeah. So fist bump. So then that's what he applies to Wayne Williams, saying like he's so arrogant and he knows what he's doing with the media, with the cops. Where like the cops will go to one area where they thought the bodies were, and then he'll dump a body back there.
Right. That's why. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say like there's even a little Easter egg like in one of the parts where they go back to one of the campsites, you actually see the actor in the background like holding a camera. Like,
yes.
Oh no way.
I fucking because I remember there was a part like that.
What episode in Mindhunter?
Yeah, it was like the fucking fourth or third to last episode when it was like Holden and the other FBI agent, they get inside the car and then it like focuses on them weirdly enough, and you see William come into the shot, take a photo, and walk out right when it cuts.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking great.
Okay. Yeah, I remember because I remember that was like because I was like thinking like, oh, that was a good moment for that little extra guy.
Yeah.
Right? But it was Williams.
Yeah, it was the same guy. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Which is why I love when Ford kind of explains it. Like he's so sure that this is the guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, this doesn't seem like him. He's like, because he's fucking arrogant. Yeah. He wants this attention. He likes all this shit. Kind of similar to because like Ed Kemper in real life and in the show, he turned himself in. Like he wanted to get caught. He wanted that attention because he's like, what the fuck? No one's noticing me? What the fuck? This is bullshit because that's part of a serial killer's traits. And in their like nature, serial killers are always going to get caught because part of their traits are they want the attention. I'm sorry, am I boring you?
No. Yeah.
Okay. But part of their thing is because it's like they want power, they want that attention.
They want the notoriety.
Eventually, they want to claim, ownership to what they're doing.
Well, that's what I like. Ed Kemper gave a line in the second season that was fucking great, where he's like, everything you gleaned from serial killers was brought on by the ones who have been caught.
Yeah.
And he's like, you haven't learned anything from the ones who haven't been caught.
Right.
And Wayne Williams was never caught.
Like, so they're still learning new shit.
Yeah, so Ed Kemper was caught, Manson was caught, like all these guys, because they fucked up somehow.
Yeah, but you always slip up.
Wayne Williams is so brilliant that he knows not to fuck up.
And
so you have to like get into that mindset. I love that.
He didn't even really fuck up either. He just it was just coincidental.
Yeah, he actually kind of played it smart because when they didn't take the rope and shit from like his backseat,
the next scene it's all clean.
And
he was all cooperative. He's like, sure, go look at my car, whatever.
The guy who played him too was perfect.
That guy was great.
Yeah.
And then like I think it was the second to last episode where like it just ended with like, who are you? And they're like, oh, I'm Wayne. And then it just like cuts. And like, fuck, I have to watch the final.
That was the thing. Like I like the inconsistency of how long these episodes were because when the Manson episode was starting, they go and interview Ed Kemper. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like this. It at that point it was already like 45 minutes in, and I was like, oh, cool. They're gonna end the episode like right when he meets Manson. It's gonna be like a big moment. I'm like. And then I checked the thing because it was super late. I'm like, oh, fuck, there's like a whole 45 minutes left. I'm like, shit, they're still going with this.
And it was just like a blip in the episode. But it was great. That guy's he looks just like Manson when he was in prison.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He has the swastika tattoo.
Yeah, exactly.
He's fucking great.
I like the scene when they were like listening to him. He's like, it's actually pretty good.
Well, I liked how they set up Tench's character with the kid.
Yeah, that happens early on.
They set all that up where like, the kid's kind of fucked up. Like, is he responsible? Is he not? Because he is a kid. Was he influenced by the older kids? Right. And that comes to play when Manson is talking to Tench. Saying like, you raise your kids like this, and like you think you're like that. You are how society sees you, and blah blah. And then Tench like he's like, fuck you midget.
Yeah. That's why I find his character so interesting because he's a Vietnam War vet. He's very hard. He's very hardcore. Tench is, and he doesn't want to show any bit of weakness to his character.
Vulnerability or anything.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be vulnerable. So like when they were handling his stuff, like I was so picturing him using their like techniques and their behavioral science studies to his son, but he's not doing it because that's also another factor into people becoming serial killers is their child upbringing. And his wife brings it up she's fantastic too. She always brings up like she doesn't know where he came from. So like, what was his life before they
adopted?
Yeah, they don't know what his life was like.
Yeah, no, that was the thing because it was more personal to him, where he's like he doesn't want to admit.
Oh, I love that he doesn't even tell Holden until like
The last
last episode. Yeah,
Well, he doesn't want to admit. He's like, "Fuck, my kid might be a serial killer."
Yeah,
Right,
doesn't want to admit it. Yeah. I'd say I think like besides like Holden not actually suffering from those panic attacks later on. The other thing is like the less of Anna Torv because I think she's like one of the best characters. Maybe the best character on the show.
She had this whole lesbian side quest, and you're like, did that really go anywhere?
It didn't really
change her character.
It was
at
just
all?
brutal. She was just like, nah, you're kind of like below me. So
I mean, it was like a good like filler. To see, like her relationship.
Yeah, I mean that's a very Fincher-y type thing though. Like having a character who is incapable of having like a relationship, you know.
Oh, that's like
it's like Social Networks, like was the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Well, I think it's almost like with all of the characters that we've seen, like even Holden, Tench, and Wendy, like they're like
too smart for like the people who they're with.
Not just that, but like they are putting their work before their own personal lives, and it's jeopardizing their lives. We've seen that with Holden when him and his girlfriend, they ended up breaking up. You know, Wendy, she leaves her professor girlfriend in the first season, and she gets with this new girl, and it's like new and exciting, but like she's learning things about herself. And I think hers comes across more like, nah, fuck you. Like I'm better off without you.
Yeah, I don't know how that paid off, or I don't know
where that's gonna go.
The whole thing with the girl having a kid and then not being able to meet the dad, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, because like before that, the bartender girl was criticizing her for lying and kind of being a little phony. And she's like, "No, you're the fucking exact same." So I'm calling you on your shit.
But like in the bigger picture, like what does that do for her character?
I think it's because she's still closeted.
Oh, for Anna Torv's character?
Yeah, like she was.
because she revealed that story during the interview, and they're like, "No, I made it up just to get."
She was more open with the professor she was with back in where she was originally working, but now that she's in this new state, she doesn't want to jeopardize that with her own thing. So maybe like in the new season, she's gonna open up more, or she's gonna find a new relationship. I like that though. I do like how they kind of like went away from Holden. Like relationship stuff, and they focused on the other two because we didn't get so much of that in the first season.
The first season was just his season, pretty much.
Right. So now they're kind of focusing more. The one fucker I feel bad for is like Agent Smith, the other dude, the snitch guy. I feel bad because like every time the new director came into it, the Ted Gunn or Tim Gunn or something like that.
Yeah, Gunn. Yeah.
He was just like, oh, you guys was but Smith, you stay. Like, and it's just like, oh, fuck.
I think that's what happened. Like in the actual like season, they're like, "Why don't you wait outside?"
Yeah,
and then like you never see him again.
Yeah. I do wish we just got more of them. Like if they would have sprinkled in more, because they did that for a little bit when they were handling the Atlantic murders. Like at the beginning, when like the FBI wasn't taking it too serious, they were going back and forth with Holden and Bill, like in Georgia, focusing on that, and then going back to a serial killer, and then kind of going back and forth, and then. Like season 5 or episode 5 or 6, it was just all the Atlantic murders, and then you were only get a little bit of Wendy here and there.
Yeah. I do kind of watching this season. I do wish that they had involved Jim Barney a little bit more and like the actual headquarters stuff. The black dude who was helping him.
Oh, the FBI agent. He was fucking great.
Because like I feel like he was the only one who like. Was like really trying like the entire time.
Like I think it was one of the interviews where Holden checked out and Barney took over and he's like, I read your transcripts. I know your technique.
Right.
Now I know what to do.
Right.
And then they kind of lost and they just focused on Atlanta.
I kind of almost wonder if they're setting it up to where Smith is gonna be fired and then they're gonna bring him in or something.
Well, because Barney was supposed to be.
Yeah. Like I guess he had interviewed in the first season.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no.
And they didn't give it to him. They gave him to Smith instead.
Yeah, because they're saying that a lot of serial killers might have racist tendencies.
Oh, which they do.
Which they did. Yeah, Manson did for sure. Like,
he was just all about the race wars.
But then, but I also like that they interviewed Tex, and then Tex was like, "Oh yeah, everything Manson said was bullshit."
Fuck, dude. That was he was great too. Everyone they cast as serial killer was just like. on fucking point.
Yeah,
it also makes you feel sympathetic for Tex.
A little bit, yeah.
Where he's
he's
like
renowned.
Yeah.
Did you notice in that scene though? Every time like guards would come by, black guards, like he would stop, top, and he would just kind of like look at them.
Oh, they were black.
Tiny little detail.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't notice they were black.
Really fucking great.
Oh
man.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's still like fuck those guys. Like he's still like
Either that
racist?
or he feels bad.
Oh, you think he feels bad?
It could be either way because now that he's reformed, you know.
I don't know. Yeah, but it almost makes you feel bad. But then you think like this fool. Then Holden brings you back like you stabbed him 55 times.
Yeah.
So like fuck you. Like
right.
So
he's like, yeah, I don't know.
The question that I asked myself, I guess you ask yourself after every season, like where is this going to go now? Because they kind of ended it. They kind of closed that chapter of the Atlantic murders. Maybe they'll interview Williams like in this next season, but like what are they going to talk about? Because now they're in the 1980s. The Atlantic murders is like 80, 81.
Yeah.
So like, are they going to jump ahead? Because where we landed off with Bill Tench, his wife bounced,
left him. Yeah.
fucking straight up bounced with the kid. Is that kid eventually going to be like a serial killer that we don't know? That or like
I hope not. That would be like too contrived.
Maybe. I don't know. Are they going to do a time jump?
I did like that they incorporated that. Like, holy fuck, this kid. Like nailed a toddler to a cross, and then that makes Tench question like, well, was he influenced by the older guys, or
was he influenced by himself by like bringing the work home and shit? Like,
because he found. I think he found something.
Yeah, he found the images in like season 1.
Yeah, he saw pictures of like Tench's work.
Yeah, season 1.
I don't remember that.
I do love though every time that like a social worker would come to their house and they'd ask what Bill Tench does, and he says, "I'm in behavioral science. I study serial killers." And they're like, "Really?"
They're enthralled.
They're like super.
Literally everybody.
Every single one, and every time the wife is just like, "What the fuck? Are you kidding me?" Like,
don't talk about. Well, in the very first episode, he's like cooking barbecue.
Oh, and those two
guys.
guys.
The guys are like, you interviewed the BTK or like the other killer, son of Sam, and they're like, yeah. And like we're sitting 3 feet away from each other, no handcuffs. And that's what I like too, like the difference between Tench and Holden. Like when Tench is telling a story, he's like, yeah, this fucking guy was standing 3 feet away from me, no handcuffs. And Holden's like, well, when the serial killer was sitting across from me.
Yeah. It says all scientific. Like,
and like everyone you can see like people leaving.
Yeah.
And everyone's like fucking bored.
I love that little dichotomy.
Spruce it up. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful show. Fincher has directed like 7 episodes, something like that.
The first 3 episodes of season 2 and the first 2 and the last 2 of season 1.
7.
Yeah, 7. Oh, that's good. Hey.
Show. Episode.
Wikipedia helps.
That's the intent.
Wikipedia helps. No, but the showrunner is. I want to give credit to the showrunner. It is, or the creator, Joe Penhall. The book actually is called Mindhunter: Inside the FBI's Elite Serial Crime Unit by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker.
Those might be the real guys.
Yeah.
But that's but I applaud the show for like at least like it's kind of a tough area to like interview, like to incorporate real serial killers, to cast real acters, to look like,
and for them to do it so realistically, because like that's why I think Zodiac is Fincher's best movie, or at least it's my favorite movie. I don't want to say it's the definitive best one, but for me, it's my favorite of his.
I think there's a good argument for that
because it's like he literally spent years researching, interviewing everybody he could that were still alive about those actual incidences, and made the movie that way. And so you look at that movie, it's like, oh, this movie isn't really 3 acts. It's like a play. Structurally, it's completely different than what a movie would be. But that's because they're going for historical accuracy. Accuracy.
That's what I feel can turn people off who are used to the 3-act structure.
Right.
Like everything wrapping up and everything.
Yeah.
So like I can see why like I would be upset with Mindhunter that doesn't tie everything together.
Because you would think like
that's real life.
The way like some characters like in a normal show, like like episode 1 they're one way, episode 5 something happens to them. But no, it's like it's pretty consistent all throughout. I remember when the Mindhunter, the Charles Manson guy, the guy that plays Charles Manson, he came in. I was gonna switch the interview, and I was like, "Oh fuck, are they gonna spoil shit?" And then Adam Smith from work, he was like, there's nothing really to spoil." And I'm like, "Oh okay." Now after watching the whole scene, like I guess you're kind of right. I mean, all of it is based off of real history, but there's not like there's not like that Fincher moment where like
there's a twist or
there's like a huge reveal or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like Rosamund Pike killing fucking Neil Patrick. You know, it's like whoa.
Well,
it keeps it pretty tame.
I didn't know about Wayne Williams, so I thought
that's true too.
I thought Holden was going to be wrong.
Oh, I see. I mean, I didn't know.
He showed up.
I don't know everything about those cases. I know that guy got caught, and I know it's based off of a real person. But you know, for all I could have known, they would have finagled with the history a little bit, but they pretty much stuck to their guns.
Right. I think what's actually like super interesting now is that with the Wade Williams. Or was it Wade Wilson or Wade Williams?
Wade
Wilson is Deadpool.
Oh, that's what I said.
Or Wayne Wilson.
Wayne Williams.
I think.
They actually, just like in March of this year, they reopened the Atlanta case. Like,
oh shit,
to incorporate DNA evidence.
And he's still like alive, right?
Yeah, he's still alive and in jail. And still
he's in jail.
Yeah, and he's still claiming that he's innocent. Like,
that's what's crazy. But that's what I liked about how the character played him.
Yeah.
And where he's like when the cops are following him and he gives them a cheeseburger and he's like, "You guys look hungry," and he's just so like, they say he has a lot of hubris.
Yeah,
and he's just so confident, and he's like, and like he has like such small answers for him. Like when like I think Barney and Holden are interviewing him in his like living room. He's like, "Can we hear your music?" He's like, I don't have any music.
Yeah.
I was like, none of the kids are that good or something. He just has like these little like smart comebacks that just like fulfill the answer but don't really give you much.
Anything.
He's got that the arrogant serial killerness to him.
Arrogant. That's what's great.
He's cocky. You know, he
funny.
knows he's fucking with them.
Which sucks because he did like allegedly kill 20
most
kids.
likely he's the fucker that did it.
Yeah. But like the character is funny.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, they took a long time to do season 2, and I hope they take a long time to do season 3 because I love the way that the show is crafted. It's got Fincher's like vision style.
Same thing. It's like House of Cards. Like even though Fincher only directed the first couple episodes, like
you can feel that
you can feel it.
But he sets up the tone and everything
right.
for the rest of it.
And this is an actual show he actually came back to because I think House of Cards he only did the first 2 episodes and that was it, right?
Oh really? Oh, I didn't know.
House of Cards
he doesn't produce the rest.
He may executive produce.
I think
he starts it. It's like how J.J. Abrams did Lost. And he was just executive producer.
I think the rule is that if you direct a pilot episode, you automatically get executive producer.
Oh shit!
You make all that money, baby.
Well, you cast everything. You literally set up the blueprint for the rest.
He didn't create the show though. He was just the director.
You see who else is an executive producer?
Charlize Theron.
Yeah. What the fuck? I just see her name all the time.
Yeah, there's always crazy producers that you'll always see names on. I'm like, really? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
And also in the end of the episode, Kevin Spacey.
No, this guy. But I can't wait for a season 3. I know that like if Fincher is still involved with it, because it seems like he's directed the first 2 episodes for every season so far.
Yeah.
So hopefully he keeps doing the same.
Also, Carl Franklin, a brother who directed a lot of the subsequent episodes.
Great.
Yeah, he did a lot of House of Cards too. So it's very much still connected.
All in the same Netflix House of Cards, Mindhunter family. David Fincher.
Everything always looks like clean and
everything
sleek.
clean. I sent you that video on like the special effects that is done in the show.
Yeah.
It's fucking mind blowing. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Just the houses in the background are all I've always
add trees behind houses.
I've always respected Fincher's use of CG. Like, say what you will about like the breath in like the Social Network.
That's small.
It's very very small, but like he's like using it in ways that's just so interesting.
Right.
Well, like you didn't even realize in Social Network that's one guy playing 2 people.
Yeah. Right.
That's fucking nuts when you think about it.
Right. Literally
using
CGI
it
the face on.
Yeah. Well, Mindhunter season 2. You're a fan?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Big fan.
Yeah. I liked it too. I can't wait for season 3.
Yeah.
Hopefully in 2025 when it comes out.
Hopefully it doesn't take 2 years, but I guess it was.
If they gotta wait for
It's
Fincher,
worth it.
if they gotta wait for Fincher, wait for Fincher.
Yeah,
Sure.
Fincher's making a movie right now, and
Is he coming out with?
He's doing like one about like Citizen Kane or some shit.
Oh, like the true story behind.
I think
Orson Welles?
I think.
Oh, nice.
Something like that.
You never really see Fincher do movies about movies. Like,
Sure.
He's probably the one director who hasn't done that.
Like about the industry.
Yeah, about the
thing.
industry type. You know, like you never really see that.
I just want him to do more serial killer stuff.
Oh yeah,
he's great with that.
Oh yeah, Seven,
Zodiac, Mindhunter,
Social Network.
Benjamin. Damn it!
Hey guys are real serious.
1 second. All right. Well, Let us know what you think about Mindhunter Season 2 or Season 1. Which season did you prefer? Do you like Season 1 more, Season 2, or are they kind of just lumped together? What's your favorite David Fincher movie? Maybe comment down below. Tell us all about it, how you feel about everything about the show. Like, comment, review, subscribe, do all that shit.